This picture right here speaks to the gross double standard that is applied to overweight men and overweight women. Number one, of course, plus-size women aren't attracted to overweight men. Nobody is, just like nobody's attracted to plus-sized women. And number two, notice how they call them plus-size women and call the men overweight men. See how they change the terminology when it comes to the sexes? A special thanks goes out to Rico, who sent me an email telling me about a friend of his who got dumped after his girlfriend lost weight. The email says, quote, "Donovan, I have a buddy whose long-term girlfriend dumped him after she lost weight. So I looked up some things, came across this article, and found out this is a phenomenon. 85% of marriages, he says, where the woman gets weight loss surgery end in divorce. Apparently, this is common knowledge for doctors. So much so that they actually make it a part of, quote, pre-surgery counseling. Basically, these women get surgery, lose weight, and divorce the men that loved them when they were bigger. They cheat, etc. This proves even plus-size women are the H word and kills the not all conversation." Now, Rico sent me a couple of links. One link is to a forum that discusses obesity and destroyed marriages, and the other is a link that talks about the fact that 85% of marriages end in divorce after one of the spouses gets weight loss surgery. I'm going to discuss both, but before I get started, I'm going to tell you exactly why women leave their boyfriends and husbands when they lose weight. And it's fairly simple. They now have more options. You see, when she was overweight, she didn't have many options, and the options she did have were very poor options. We talk all the time about how even plus-size girls hook up with a lot of guys, but the guys they're hooking up with are not select men. They're not hooking up with high-value guys. They're hooking up with low-value, run-of-the-mill, low-quality, thirsty dudes who have just enough desirability to jump into bed with. But the more weight she loses, the higher the quality her options become. And with higher quality options comes an increased sense of self-worth and self-confidence. You put all those things together, and it's a mystery to me as to why people are surprised that wives and girlfriends who lose weight end up leaving their husbands and boyfriends. If a woman has more options at the end of a relationship than she had at the beginning of a relationship, she will end that relationship. That's all there is to it. And this is why they leave their significant others when they drop the weight. Hi, I'm Donovan Sharpe, and I tell hard and fast truths about the dating market no matter how hard they are to hear. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, and share. So let's take a look at the article entitled, quote, "Divorce Surgery." It was posted on mailbag.com back in November of 18. And again, a big thanks goes out to Rico for submitting these articles. The article starts, quote, "Over the last several years, bariatric surgery has gained significant traction as a treatment for obesity. I have seen this result in many success stories for patients struggling with obesity. Although bariatric surgery is just one of our tools in this struggle, it is a highly effective one, particularly for people who undergo gastric bypass or the gastric sleeve procedure. These highly effective procedures generally result in a landslide of weight loss. However, while no surgery is risk-free, bariatric surgery comes with particularly serious risks. For one thing, this kind of surgery starts with a patient population where obesity itself can lead to comorbidities. Obese patients are also more prone to pulmonary embolism because of increased venous stasis. But there is another, quote, "side effect of bariatric surgery, one that may seem to be an odd result from the procedure. Throughout the years," he says, "I have noticed that my patients who undergo successful bariatric surgery seem to get divorced at a higher than average rate. It would have to be pretty high to be noticeable given that the US divorce rate is around 50%. In fact," he says, "review of the literature reveals that the rate of divorce after bariatric surgery may be as high as 75 to 85% in the first 2 years after surgery. If the bariatric patient was obese prior to the relationship, then the risk of divorce is even higher. I suspect that the course for this meteoric divorce rate is multifactorial. Often, with significant weight loss comes increased courage, self-esteem, and self-confidence and improved overall health. This more positive sense of self might be just the boost someone who was in a poor marriage needed to leave the relationship. On the other hand, bariatric patients who are in good relationships before the surgery are more likely to happily adjust to the results of the radical weight loss." Let me just go ahead and stop right there and let you know right now that this is 100% BS. It makes not one bit of difference whether or not a woman was in a good marriage. As soon as she loses the weight, she's out of there. And it's not because she's a bad person or a bad wife. No, it's because she's a woman. And a woman's dating strategy is dictated by her hard drive, her biology. She is a slave to it no matter how much she wants to deviate from it. The set in stone, gospel truth titanium ironclad rule of the female dating strategy here in 2020 is that a woman will consolidate on the highest value man available to her, regardless of her relationship status. And any woman watching this would be quick to say, "Donovan, I would never leave my husband if I were hotter than I am now. I love him very much." And you want to know something? I believe you. I believe that you want to believe that you aren't like every other female out there. But sweetheart, you cannot deprogram yourself of this software no matter how much you'd like to. I get that women would love to think that they love unconditionally. I get that women would love to think that they're capable of loyalty to a man. But that's just not the way it is. A woman cannot deny her biological imperative in this regard any more than a man can deprogram himself to like beautiful women. It simply can't be done. So for this article to suggest that women in healthy marriages stick around after their dating market value goes from a 5 to an 8 is very cute, but very wrong. The article continues. Based on these findings, it seems that it would be helpful for prospective bariatric patients if their pre-surgery counseling included education regarding potential marital stressors that may occur in the wake of weight loss surgery. Also, during the first 2 years, post-surgery healthcare providers should be prepared to offer marital counseling referrals. Gentlemen, let me reiterate this. A woman's hard drive simply cannot be reprogrammed to be attracted to men who give their commitment to low-value women. No amount of marriage counseling, pre-surgery counseling, or post-surgery counseling can undo millions of years of biological programming and evolution. Again, I get why they're saying this because we'd all like to think this, but anyone watching this right now knows this isn't true. Okay, let's move to the post on the message board Rico sent over. It starts, quote, "Let me tell you my story. My wife had gastric bypass surgery in November of 2007. I completely supported her decision to go this drastic route due to her high blood pressure, sleep apnea, extreme fatigue with physical activity, and her extreme displeasure with her appearance. She is 5 feet, 2 inches, and was at the time 230 pounds. This poor guy thought his wife wanted weight loss surgery because of her high blood pressure, sleep apnea, and fatigue. His wife didn't give a damn about any of that stuff. She got weight loss surgery because she didn't like the way she looked and knew she didn't have the discipline to lose the weight on her own. Gentlemen, women don't do anything for their health. They don't care about their health. They drink too much, they do hard drugs, and they hook up with random men all the time without using protection. The only reason they lose weight and eat healthy is not to be healthier. It's to become hotter. Let me ask you this. Do you think Instagram models stay healthy for their health? I didn't think so. If you were to offer 10 women a pill that would instantly make them a physical 10 on the outside, but have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and heart disease, 35 women would show up and fight for those 10 pills. This man's wife had a slew of health problems, but the only number she cared about was 230, as in 230 pounds. He continues, quote, "Her post-op course went without a hitch physically, but mentally, psychologically, over the following months she became more cold and harsh. The intimacy in our marriage suffered related to the tension growing between us. Each time I attempted to discuss issues or feelings I was having, a typical response from her was to ignore it or simply tell me that I was being too sensitive. Eventually, she began spending more time out in the evenings with the girls, which I supported fully, backed with the unending trust she had built during our 19-year marriage. Exactly 1 year after her surgery, after losing over 110 pounds and looking fabulous, she came to me and explained she no longer loved me, admitted that during the preceding few months had very much enjoyed the company and the attention of other men and wanted to be free, young, and wanted to play and be with other men. Of course, this was devastating, and I spent the next couple of months trying desperately to win her back, blaming myself. I still loved her very much," he says, "and wanted our life together back. Unfortunately, that is never to be. She has taken a steady boyfriend and enjoys living the life of a single woman on the town, even though we are still married. However, not for much longer. We have 3 children," he continues, "who have been shoved to the back of her priority list behind her new life and boyfriend. All this from the former PTA mom who had walked through fire for her kids and devoted wife. I really don't know who this new person is," he says, "and quite frankly, she's not someone who I care to get to know. Gastric bypass surgery destroyed my marriage. I'm sharing this story," he continues, "in hopes that I can spare someone else from the same fate. I still believe that gastric bypass is a good choice for some. However, I strongly suggest personal and marriage counseling long before and long after your surgery. Please don't end up like me," he says. "Don't take anything for granted. I truly believe that the bond we had could truly survive any test. I was dead wrong. Don't think this can't happen to you. That's exactly what I thought." The fact that this dude truly believes that marriage counseling would have saved his marriage speaks to the gross lack of awareness among men about the true nature of women. This is exactly why I do what I do, guys. Now, some women watching this may think, okay, Donovan, you have a point. But a man who lost a bunch of weight would also leave his overweight wife. I wouldn't blame him for doing so, and you shouldn't blame her for doing the same. And to that, I would respond with, number one, I don't blame her for leaving. I say this all the time, guys. If I get fat, lose my drive to succeed, become undisciplined, and got soft, my girl has every right to dip like a video vixen. I know that her love for me is 100% conditional, and trust me when I tell you, she knows the same. Number two, yes, a fat man married to a woman who needs to lose weight would 100% leave her. You are getting no argument from me there. But there is a distinct difference between men and women in these situations. As men, we understand that if we are fat and out of shape, that we don't deserve beautiful, fit women. Fit, beautiful women aren't attracted to fat guys, and that's all there is to it. We don't complain about it. We don't believe that we're entitled to any woman just because we have a Y chromosome. We know that if we want to get with pretty girls, we need to hit the gym, stack money, and improve ourselves in other ways. Women, on the other hand, are completely the opposite. Women believe that they deserve the best men out there regardless of their weight. They believe that they're entitled to high-quality men no matter what they look like. The reason they believe this nonsense is because the world tells them this. This BS body positivity movement and the beauty at any size has warped the female mind and convinced it that even though fat, slovenly men don't deserve fit, beautiful women, women who need to lose weight deserve fit, hot guys. Take a look at your screen, guys. This picture right here speaks to the gross double standard that is applied to overweight men and overweight women. Number one, of course, plus-size women aren't attracted to overweight men. Nobody is, just like nobody's attracted to plus-sized women. And number two, notice how they call them plus-size women and call the men overweight men. See how they change the terminology when it comes to the sexes? A 300-pound woman is plus size, but a 300-pound man is fat? But again, we as men understand that if we want access to fit, beautiful women, that we have to get fit ourselves. But plus-size women don't think they have to change anything to be attractive to high-value men. Part of the reason for this is that even plus-size women can get laid. But what women of all shapes and sizes fail to understand is that just because a man wants to go to bed with them doesn't mean he wants to commit to them. Girls always make the egregious mistake of conflating intimate attention with relationship attention, and the two are mutually exclusive from one another. Men know this, women do not. And because women don't understand this distinction, they don't have an incentive to lose weight. Their subconscious says to them, well, if I'm getting all this sausage at 264 pounds, then getting a relationship should be easy. And the result is overweight women not doing what's necessary to become attractive to attractive men because, again, they think they don't have to. They can get all the random sausage they want, then wonder why they're still single at 317 pounds. So fellas, what are your thoughts on the terminology when it comes to fat guys and plus-size women? And ladies, is it fair that fat men don't get the same positive attention as plus-size women? Let me know in the comments below. And for less than the cost of a gym membership, you can watch my surgical analysis of articles like this, as well as popular dating shows like Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiancé, and The Bachelor. You can also get access to my archive, which contains past episodes as well as my Sunday webinars. Just go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe, and you will join a tight-knit community of like-minded men striving for masculine excellence and living life on our own terms. The link is in the description.